The other day, I was in the International Pioneer Telegraph group. I shared my response with a pioneer. I mentioned that the core team is sometimes open for migration, then stop migrating a lot of nature, and then open for a few days, then stop again. This is because many pioneers trade too much on the black market after receiving their Pi. Due to the prevalence of black market activities and a large number of low-priced barter transactions, the core team doesn't allow for quick migrations every day. The question for this pioneer is why the core team has not announced. They stopped moving because of too much black market trading. He also asked why the core team doesn't punish policy violators, but punish other pioneers who perform well, stop them from migrating their Pi. This made him feel that the core team was unfair. He believes that the core team should punish all pioneers who violate the policy and allow all other pioneers to continue their rapid migration. My answer is as follows for the reference of the pioneers, because I'm sure many of you probably have the same problem. Please note that the following points are based on my analysis. I don't represent the core team. I explained in my article why the core team. They cannot and should not announce or disclose their migration plans, including when they plan to stop the migration. They also can't show the reason for stopping the migration. It's because of the high risk of blockade. This information is part of their internal strategy. Due to confidentiality, it should not be made public. However, they informed us through a temporary KYC and migration agreement. Any actions that compromise the network will be monitored, and it will affect the overall progress. We must understand the large transactions on the blockchain. Some come from the black market, some barter at low prices. The core team cannot be punished. The orange temporary KYC notice was implemented due to a policy violation, including selling accounts and wallets. Make it clear that this will affect the security of the network. The addition of real-time inspections is to identify those people who sell wallets and buy wallets after someone passes KYC. Secondly, have you read the migration agreement? I have sent it several times. All pioneers must sign the agreement. Promise not to sell Pi for fiat currency during a closed mainnet. If you sell a large number of migrated Pi, will it affect the security of the Pi network? If so, this is where they open up and observe for a few days. Then open up again and observe the cause for a few days. The core team has no personal information about individual pioneers. There is a high risk that they cannot identify who is violating the policy. They can only monitor the activities of pioneers through blockchain. Transactions that suggest a high risk of failure are not just those related to the black market. Also includes low-value barter transactions. For example, someone exchanged for 1,000 Pi for a second-hand motorcycle in South Korea. In Taiwan, a breakfast costs 17 Pi. Such examples are dangerous for the core team. May cause them to delay the migration process. Since all pioneers are part of a collective, the actions of any one individual affect the entire community. It's important to understand and communicate this information to ensure that all pioneers adhere to Pi network policies. This is why GCV fighters work tirelessly every day. If everyone acts in their own interests, ultimately, it will lead to the failure of the entire community, including individuals. The core team may not publicly announce the reasons for the migration or discontinuation because they think it's as clear as 1 equals 2. They wanted the pioneers to understand without further explanation because they have repeatedly said they need cybersecurity. To further illustrate this concept, let's imagine a scenario like this. A wealthy father has 10 children, some of whom are spendthrifts. Will fathers continue to give these children money? Likewise, if the father has 60 million children, he couldn't have identified the spendthrift himself. He can only evaluate their behavior by their spending habits. If children demonstrate responsible consumption, fathers will continue to support them. So you have to understand that 60 million population. It is impossible to identify who is responsible and who is a spendthrift. So when they lose confidence, they slow down the process. If the core team can control everything without pioneering cooperation, there is no need to wait 3 years to launch the mainnet. The fact that they are still waiting shows that they rely on pioneer cooperation. Thank you to the GCV ambassador for your hard work. The core team is now showing more confidence. We hope to launch the mainnet before the end of the year, but they still need pioneering cooperation. Remember the following words. If the core team allows all pioneers, pass KYC now or at the end of December and migrate. Without the cooperation of pioneers, what will be the result? The result is a Pi network failure. After the mainnet, most pioneers will sell Pi on the exchange market. Even before the mainnet, they may violate the sale and purchase agreement. Some pioneers believe that if the core team punishes them, other pioneers would stop. But the reality is different. Even though the core team confiscated 10 million Pi, future migrated wallets will still actively participate in trading. The core team doesn't want to rely on punishment to solve problems, because if millions of wallets are lost, it will affect the project. This will cause the Pi network to fail. So I keep saying that punishment is not the answer. Education can completely solve the problem. Therefore, I suggest that punishment should be carried out together with education. Therefore, you can see the core team using penalties, but you still need to wait. Did you see the core team extend KYC by 2 months? Same here. They're trying to use waiting to get more pioneers a good education. Make them not sell Pi or buy Pi after Pi migration. Also, they are constantly tracking and punishing those who violate the policy. If you have that idea of relying on punishing the pioneers, that's because you've never studied or read the white paper. Pi Network wants Pi to be decentralized, so they need a larger user base. You don't understand what Pi is. Your idea is that Pi is just another cryptocurrency. Do you think that after the main network of the core team, you will have a lot of Pi to sell and get some money? But that's not what the Pi network wants. They want the Pi to become a real currency, resolve the financial crisis, or more. Why do I say if the pioneers don't improve their consensus? Will the Pi network fail? Because after the mainnet, many pioneers need cash. They will sell their Pi on the exchange market. Do you understand? We educate pioneers to support the ecosystem. Respect GCV so they don't sell the Pi. Because of the ecosystem that uses Pi, if millions of pioneers are sold, it will cause the price of Pi to drop significantly. This will harm the ecosystem that requires stable prices. Why doesn't the core team punish these black market pioneers? How do you know they didn't? They confiscated 10 million Pi in June. They don't reveal who they confiscated from. Because if they do, all black markets know how to get away with it. Understand? The white paper makes it very clear that all processes will be based on parameters, including but not limited to blockchain records, to protect cybersecurity and the success of Pi. In addition, blockchain records reveal that there are hundreds and thousands of Pi in a single transaction, not only from the black market, but also from barter. The core team has been asked not to direct or direct Pi prices. If they say it's because the price of Pi is too low, they will stop migrating and the Pi network will be shut down by US regulators. You have your brain, and you should be able to learn and understand why. Just because many pioneers, like you, never learn. This delayed the whole process of opening up the mainnet.